Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. Got my cup of coffee. Hope you have the same. Thanks for joining me again. I'm Paulie, and this is Paulie's Power Hour. Alright, so today we're working on the Caddy. I'm going to do a tune-up. This is really the first time that you guys have seen, the Caddy, the way she's meant to be seen. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, Paulie, you've got this really bad Trans Am behind you, a classic square body Chevy pickup and a Heritage Edition Rally Sport Camaro. What are you doing with a Cadillac? And, well, one, I got it from a buddy of mine at a great price. Two, it's a great daily driver. And three, look at it. It's a Caddy. Look at how classy this thing is. I'm going to say classy about 500 times. I promise you this. I mean, look at this. Look at that interior. Just plush leather seats. That front seat is all the way back, by the way. So, yeah. Lots of leg room back here, that's for sure. I mean, look at how clean this thing is. Why wouldn't you? This makes a perfect daily driver. The gas mileage is great. Just look at this leather-wrapped trim. The whole dash is just wrapped in leather, and it's a clean car. She's only got 148,924 miles on her. So really, this car has a lot of life left in it. A lot of life. And today we're going to be doing a tune-up. What are you doing, buddy? It's Rocky, as always, out here with me helping. We're going to be doing a tune-up, and while I'm doing the tune-up, we're going to go over things that you should look for when you're buying a used car. Say you want to buy something that you want to make your daily driver. Okay, cool, great. Like me, why a Caddy? Because I like it. I think it's a nice looking car. It floats down the road like driving on a cloud. It's amazing. If you can find a good car that you like, buy it. Life's too short to drive boring cars. If you are just gaga over a, Toyota Corolla, buy a Toyota Corolla. If you're gaga over a Pinto, buy a Pinto, I guess. But buy a car that you like, that you're going to enjoy driving, That's just, there's a passion to this car stuff that we do. And, I mean, without passion, Kit would not be what Kit is today. None of my cars would be what they are today. All my friends' cars. I have a passion for working on cars. I have a passion for working with my hands. And I have a passion for helping people, especially friends that I can help out. So, without further ado, I'll back Kit out of the garage, pull the Caddy in, and we're going to get started. And don't worry, before you say anything, Rocky always goes in the house before dangerous things happen. Alright, so here she is in all her glory. I got some tunes going. This is a 4.9 liter or 300 cubic inch V8. So the history on this car, a buddy of mine, a good friend of mine, bought it from another person who became a friend of mine, ipso facto. And he daily drove it forever. I've done a majority of the work on the car. So really, I was at an advantage because I knew what I was getting, because I did most of the work. Yeah, so gravy, right? Cool. I got a distributor hardware kit, rotor button, new distributor cap. Just in case I have a coil. This is a spare coil that I have in a box. A thermostat and gasket, should I need it. And 8 spark plugs. R45 LTS6. I got those because of the factory service manual, which we're going to open and go use this to do the tune-up on the car from basically start to finish. So here we go. So for a general inspection, let's look around here. So let's take the air cleaner off. Alright, so this is what they would call port fuel injection at its finest, really. You've got 8 fuel injectors here, and then a common throttle body to feed everything. It's kind of like tune port injection, just turned around, if that makes any sense. Alright, so let's grab a flashlight here and start looking at stuff. So I'm looking right now for leaks. A little bit of oil residue here, but that might have been from pouring oil in the valve cover. I'm looking for fuel leaks, which I don't see any, which means the O-rings on the injectors are good. Do have what looks like a bit of a coolant leak. It looks like it might be coming from here. That's a little damp. Well, it's a good thing I've got a thermostat. I have to clean that up now. Alright. I think I'm happy about everything else. A little bit of road dirt here and there. Like I said, I need to clean it up. So I guess let's open up this factory service manual and see what we can figure out. Alright, so before you can put the plugs in, you got to gap them. Now, according to the factory service manual, these plugs, this exact part number, should be gapped to 60 thousandths. Now, what does that mean? That means the gap between the electrode should be 60 thousandths of an inch, or in this case 0.060 on my little gapping tool. That thing should just fit in there. Apparently these plugs come pre-gapped. If not, you would take this little guy and you would use it to leverage the electrode back and forth. But we're good here. So I'm going to check the rest of the plugs, make sure they're all pre-gapped, and once I've got a good 60 thousandths on each, we're going to go back to the car, start pulling plugs out. I got the plug wires pulled. Okay, you can see where they are. They're kind of not in a convenient place. But the back is going to be obviously more inconvenient. As you can see, this is a transversely mounted V8. So, yep, I'm going to start pulling plugs. So, take your plugs. You get a little bit of this anti-seize here, and you just put a little bit on the threads, and that'll prevent the spark plug from seizing up, make it a lot easier to come out for the next tune-up. You only need to soak this thing, just need a little bit, and it's going to coat the threads. I really pack a lot of stuff under the hood of this car, let me tell you. Alright, first plug. Looks pretty good for however many miles are on it. No gas coming out of it. Really, looks really good, actually. These are Autolite double platinums. Alright, insert the plug. Installation opposite removal. Alright, so the first 4 plugs went pretty well. Here they are. Not too shabby. They don't look too bad for, as long as they were in there. Next spark plug change, I'm definitely changing these wires, because he had the wires changed when the plugs were changed. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not burnt. They're not arcing. They're not sparking. The car runs. So I'm going to change the wires. Next plug wire, or next spark plug change. Next tune-up. So along with the anti-seize that you put on the threads, get some of this dielectric tune-up grease and put it in the spark plug boot. I put a little dabby dab in here, and it helps keep anything out of the connection between the two, and more importantly, it makes it so that when you go to pull this off next time, you hear that click? That's a good sign. That means it clicked. Alright. So next time you go to pull it off, it'll come off nice and easy, and you won't break your hand when you start pulling it off. Now, let's try and evaluate the back plugs here. Let's see what we got. Where's my light? Okay, these don't look... I'm going to be sitting on the engine. I think that's how I'm going to do these. I'm going to kind of sit up here and just cram my hand back there. It's not ideal. This is the fun of doing this stuff. Trying to figure out how you're going to do it. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm probably just going to sit up here and jam my hand back there and hope for the best. I removed the strut tower brace. And that'll give me, hopefully, greater access to this. So I'm going to climb up here. And hopefully... Okay. Hang on a second. Let's pull up on this a little bit and reach. Alright, touching number 2. Alright, there's the wire. So this T-hose here is for that radiator, or not the radiator, the heater core. And it's plastic, and it's very fragile. I'm talking about this guy right here. So you want to be very careful around him. And this is a specialty that has a some sort of restriction built into one part of it, so it heats the car a certain way. It's very technical. We can look it up together in the factory service manual. You'll notice I am kneeling on the car. I'm on the core support, which is strong, so I don't have to worry about breaking anything plastic or bending the metal. I might be a little overweight, but not that much overweight. For me, I just like to close my eyes, and I hate to say use the force, but just kind of feel around and, you know, use the force. Alright, so I went and I labeled the plugs and the wires. Now, like I said before, the firing order for this motor and the firing order for a small block Chevy are the same, and that happens to be 18436572. So 18436572 in a clockwise rotation. So why is this important? It's important because I'm about to pull all these wires off, and I want to make sure they go back to the right spot. This battery wire and this ground and battery wire to take off. So you just kind of, I'm going to use a small flathead. There's 4 captive screws that hold the distributor cap down. Here comes the distributor cap. And you can see the wear in here. Okay. And this is worn as well, which that's normal. Alright, so take the rotor button. Now the rotor button only goes on one way, so don't have to worry about putting it on backwards in case you forget where the hell it went. There's a little tab right here. Alright, we got the old cap and the new cap. First thing you gotta do is take this little cover off. These 2 screws. Set that to the side. Alright, here's your coil. ground. Now these are longer than the cover screws. So set those off to the side. There's 4 of these. Broadway is dark tonight. A little weaker than we used to be. Alright. White goes up this side, red goes up that side. Okay. Nice and easy. I'll push these things through. So, as you see, there's not a whole lot of movement here. And there's a little bit of movement here. And I've got a new one, so I might as well just replace it. I've had it sitting on the shelf and it's not doing anything but sitting there, so oh, it comes with new. Okay. I'll put that. Now this goes up the center. So, let me get that turd out of here. Alright, ground terminal goes up the center. That goes in the hole. Isolator goes in place, just like so. New coil goes in the radiator, new distributor cap. Alright, coil's in, nice and tight. Wires are in. Let's tuck these in so they don't get pinched. Ground. I put the ground terminal in. That little guy's poking through. And we can put this top back on. Alright, cool. Let's go back to the car. Like anything else we do, installation opposite removal. I'm going to look in here and make sure that there's nothing crazy going on. Nope, good. Alright, distributor. Tap. Then the mounting bracket. The mounting bracket. Alright, so I'm going to knock out this thermostat real quick. I've taken the clip off, as you can see. The hose clamp, sorry. And there's a little bit there, so I put a vice grip pliers around the hose to try and, you know, keep it from making too much of a mess. I can obviously see that it's leaking. Right there. It's leaking from the bottom here, and it's getting all down into here. And it's making a freaking mess. So I went and I got a brand new thermostat because why not? This one has 148,000 miles on it. Oh. First try. It's probably gonna make a bit of a mess, but it's gotta be done. Let's either make a mess now or make a mess on the side of the road when this thing finally says sayonara. Yep, that's gonna make a mess. That's going to be a big mess. Alright, well, let's swap out this go. Thermostat swapped. Alright, so she's been running for about 10 minutes so far. No leaks. So now we're going to go for a little test drive. Well, there you have it, folks. With a couple of hours, a little bit of work, a little bit of listening to music, a little bit of making a mess. Should have used a bigger drain pan. You too can do a tune-up on your own car. Modern 4-cylinders are much easier, usually. So, yeah. Oh, here, let me put the camera down. Pop the hood back up. Let's see if it's still... if I have that pesky coolant leak. And dry as a bone. Oh, yeah. Let's see. You see it? Yep. Dry as a bone. Oh yeah. Make sure nothing's touching the manifold still. Yep. Yep. I think we are good, my friends. There we go. One less thing that I wanted. Two less things. Well, three. Cap rotor, plugs, and thermostat and housing gasket. So there you go. 3 things knocked out one day. Car runs great. Runs beautifully. So I'm going to go ahead and... oh, man, the worst part is always the cleanup. This is the fun part. The not so fun part. And that's kitty litter to use. It'll be okay. So, if you had some fun, like, subscribe, come on back and see me. Let's hang out together. Let's work on cars. Hope you learned something. Hope you had some fun. Hope you enjoyed your cup of coffee. Yeah. I drink too much coffee. That's okay. I hope you don't. So I'm rambling. I'm going to sign this off. I'm going to clean up my mess. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm Paulie. This is Paulie's Power Hour. Stay classy.